Hey everybody, Captain B-Nard back here with another Wi-Fi battle. Exciting day today because, as promised, I do have one more new Sword and Shield team for you guys. So, we are going to jump right into this game today, and that is going to be against Penny. And so, yeah, let's take a look and see what they have in store for us. Okay, looks to be a pretty powerful team there. Slightly illegal, of course, but we will see if we can work with it. So there you can see my new team on the side there, in quotation marks, the word new, of course, because these are mostly Pokemon that I used here on Sword and Shield before, with the exception of the Archeops. That's one I've never used before, but we've got the Seismitoad, we've got the Aegislash, we've got the what's it called there? The Heliolisk, the Shiinotic, and the Drampa. So, yeah, these are just Pokemon that I really like and wanted to use, and these Pokemon do have something in common as well. These are all Pokemon that came out in generations 5 through 7, but are not in Scarlet and Violet. So, trying to get maximum usage out of some Pokemon that were not in Scarlet and Violet here. So I think we'll lead with the Archeops. We're just going to go ahead and do that. And we'll see how that works out. So yeah, pretty excited to get a few more battles here with some Pokemon that I have not used in a very long time. So yeah, we'll go ahead and see how this works out. So there she is, and she's going to lead with the Cinderace, kind of as expected, as we led with the Archeops. So, we are Choice Scarf, so we know we should be outspeeding this thing, and the reason I wanted to lead with this is to see if I could catch her off guard, take this thing out with like an attack. So we're just going to go for the Earthquake straight away. With our massive attack stat, it should one-shot this thing. And in fact, we do catch her off guard with the Scarf, go for the Earthquake, and indeed it is enough to go ahead and one-shot that Cinderace with Outright. We do get a critical hit there. I don't think that mattered because we are max attack, and Archeops has a massive attack stat when Defeatist is not activated. So we get a great start to the game there, take her down to 5 Pokemon. So now she's going to come in with the Snorlax, and so we definitely don't want to stay in on this matchup. So I think we're going to go ahead, and we have a couple of options here to try and face this Snorlax down. I think our best option is probably going to go... I think it's going to be going into... Yeah, I think it's going to be going into the Aegislash, so we're going to go ahead and switch to that thing. We do have the immunity to Snorlax's Stab, although of course it has a very wide move pool. So there is the Aegislash. This thing goes for a heavy slam. And that doesn't do too much damage to us, a little bit of chip, and that thing is going to take some Life Orb damage as well, which is interesting. So we are going to get some HP back with our leftovers there. So this turn, I think we're relatively safe to go for a Swords Dance, get our attack increase, so I think that's what we're going to do here. Not quite sure what this thing's set could be. It does stay in as we go for the Swords Dance. That's going to get our sharp attack increase and set us up to do some big damage, hopefully, as this thing has Heat Crash on deck, unfortunately. Goes for it, does do quite a lot of damage to us, knocks us down to about a third HP, and that thing will then take some recoil damage once again from the Life Orb. We are going to get some more HP back with the leftovers. And so this turn, we definitely want to go ahead and try to take this thing out with a close combat. So that is what we're going to do. We know we outspeed this thing despite Aegislash being slow. Snorlax is even slower. So we go ahead and change to Blade Form, hit this thing up with a close combat, and that will be more than enough to eliminate that Snorlax. We do take the defense drops as well, but that's okay. Snorlax is out, and she goes down to 4 Pokemon. So that is pretty good for us, as we do get some HP back with the leftovers once again. So we'll see what she wants to come in with in response to that. So what is it gonna be? That is the question. Alright, so it is going to be the Dragapult. So that's an interesting choice because we are packing Shadow Sneak, and at +2, I'm not 100% sure if it will KO or not. I feel like it will. but there's really no reason not to go for it. So we're just going to go for the Shadow Sneak here and see what she wants to do. We do catch her with the Shadow Sneak, and let's see, that is more than enough to go ahead and just obliterate that thing, although it does actually hang on with a Focus Sash. That seems like that was the plan, as this thing is going to then go for a Phantom Force. So we are going to get some HP back with the leftovers as well. That'll put us back up to about 50%. And so, yeah, we do have a couple of normal types on deck here on this team, so I think our best bet is to go ahead and switch into one of them, so that's exactly what we're going to do. And I think our best option is to go for the Heliolisk, so that's what we're going to do. We're just going to get our Aegislash out of there, since we have that option. And we'll go ahead and bring the Heliolisk in to absorb the Phantom Force, so that is obviously not going to affect us. So this turn, I think we're just going to go ahead and we will fire off a, let's see, what would be the best course of action here? I guess we're pretty safe to go ahead and just fire off, let's see, we'll just fire off a Dragon Pulse here. We'll just do that. This thing will probably outspeed us, but that's okay. If it stays in, I think we maybe can take a hit depending on what it goes for, but we'll see. We don't really have a better option at the moment, so yeah, we'll just have to see how this plays out. So she is definitely thinking about this one, as she does actually switch the Dragapult out, wanting to save it, and going to switch into the Calyrex. So this is really the X factor here. That thing is in. Has the As 1 ability, of course, as it does have the Unnerve and the stat boost. So we are going to go for a Dragon Pulse here, and it is Choice Specs Max Special Attack. Not quite half damage there, but great damage on this thing nonetheless. I feel like we have no choice but to just stay in and do it again here, so that's what we're going to do. We cannot give this thing any breathing room to do anything for free. So we do outspeed this thing, hit it up with another Choice Specs Dragon Pulse. Funny that it comes out of the tail, actually. Not quite enough to get the KO, unfortunately. This thing is going to fire off a Leaf Storm in return, and that is not quite enough to KO us either. Even with a critical hit, we do survive with 11 HP, which is pretty amazing. And so that means that this next Dragon Pulse should be enough to take this thing out. So we do end up being able to get rid of this, hopefully get rid of this thing without it doing too much to us, which is nice. But even if we don't, it is pretty weakened at this point, so I'm pretty happy with that. So we'll see what she wants to do here. She's actually thinking about this one. So she is actually going to switch the Calyrex out, so wanting to save that thing. Okay, so now she's going to switch into the Urshifu, interestingly enough, and that is the Rapid Strike Urshifu. So we're going to go for a Dragon Pulse on this thing and get some nice damage here, and that is going to take that thing down by about 2/3, which is pretty amazing. So Heliolisk really doing a number on her team here. Her not wanting to let any Pokemon get KO'd is really helping us wear the team down as a whole. So I think there's no reason to switch. We're just going to stay in and Dragon Pulse once again here, as we do outspeed this thing. No priority on deck on her side, and even if she was, we are dry skinned, so we'll absorb the water attacks. So the next Dragon Pulse takes the Urshifu down, and she goes down to 3. So looking pretty solid here, which is pretty amazing to see. This team is putting in the work, as now the Regieleki is going to come in. And so I think Heliolisk has more than done its job at this point, so I'm pretty comfortable just leaving it in, and we'll click Dragon Pulse again. But this thing should certainly outspeed us. I don't think there's any way it doesn't. So yeah, that is pretty nice for us, as there we go. Regieleki goes for the Thunder Cage and actually misses, which is really unlucky for my opponent, as that's going to let us get another Choice Specs Dragon Pulse off, which gets a critical hit and KOs the Regieleki, knocking her down to 2 Pokemon. So that is super unlucky on her side. I do feel kind of bad about that, actually. But yeah, I guess there's not much we can do. So we're back to the Dragapult here, ladies and gentlemen. So back to square one, so to speak. We're just going to keep on firing off Choice Specs Dragon Pulses with Heliolisk until we go down. And there we go. The Dragapult does outspeed us, goes for the U-turn, takes us out, and knocks us down to 5 Pokemon. So, but what a run by Heliolisk there. That was pretty amazing. So much work put in, and that is, of course, going to force her to come in with the Calyrex once again. So That thing is in, and so of course as one comes into play, and yeah, the amount of damage that that Heliolisk did to the team there is pretty incredible. So we have a number of options here as to how we want to deal with this, but I think the one we're going to take is we're going to switch in with our Drampa. So we're going to go ahead and come in with that, and we do have the Ghost Immunity, of course, which is pretty amazing. And I think we just go for a Flamethrower. We don't want to miss the Draco Meteor. So yeah, we'll just go for a Flamethrower here and hopefully finish this thing off. Let's see what she wants to do. So this thing is going to go for a Pollen Puff, interestingly enough. So it's going to hit us up with a Pollen Puff. Does do quite a lot of damage to us, but we do take it relatively well. Go for a Flamethrower in return, and that will knock that Calyrex out, knocking her down to just one Pokemon, as the Drampa will get some HP back with the leftovers. So definitely looking pretty solid here, as her last Pokemon is that Dragapult, and yeah, I think there's not going to be too much this thing can do in the long run for us. We're just going to go ahead and try to... this thing is at 1 HP, so there's no reason to click Draco. We're just going to click Flamethrower again here. And this thing she is going to go ahead and Dynamax this thing. So I'm going to bust out the Dynamax at the last second. I don't think it'll be enough to save this thing from an attack, but perhaps the damage output increase will make a difference in the attack on the Drampa, but we'll see. So that Dragapult going all the way from 1 HP to 2 HP with that Dynamax, as she is going to go for a max Wormwind, and we may not be able to take that, actually, as, no, we get completely obliterated by that. So so the Drampa does get taken down there, and we go down to 4 Pokemon, but that is okay, I think. Drampa did its job, and now we kind of have our ace in the hole still, which is, of course, the Aegislash. So I think it is time for us to go ahead and... finish this one off as we come in with the Aegislash, and one Shadow Sneak from this range should definitely finish this thing off, so that's what we're going to do. We go ahead and get the stance change into Blade form, and we are going to fire off that Shadow Sneak, which will be more than enough from that range to go ahead and finish that Dragapult off. And that is game. So, we are going to win that one 4-0 against Penny, but that was a pretty fun match, actually. Pretty interesting and pretty solid showing for our team there. Going to go ahead and snag the league card and go ahead and quit. So yeah, like I say, pretty fun one, and very solid showing for our team there, which is always great. So that's going to do it for this one. Thanks for watching again, everybody. Hope you all enjoyed. Please hit that like button, leave a comment, and or subscribe if you did enjoy, and stay tuned for more new battles in the future. So that's it, and we'll see you next time.